So, we're back. Round 8 of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship, and it is at Cadwell Park this weekend. So, come on, let's go and do another track talk, shall we? Bah! So, down the start and finish, you're going to be at about 5th gear, absolutely flat out. You come in at the last corner, so you'll be on the left side of the track here, but then you'll be working your way over to the right side. You're usually about by this green, just getting yourself lined up and nice and ready for turn 1, because it's a fast one. Get comfortable. So, into turn 1. About now we'll be changing back to 4th gear for turn 1 really. Don't unsettle the bike too much, but you're jumping on the brakes so back at that change of tarmac back there, and you don't brake too hard into here, just enough to scrub enough speed off. Every lap you come into here and you think, I could have probably done that a bit faster. This is like a TT corner. You don't want to be fully 110% committed, because if you come off here you're going to know about it, but you do get some speed around here towards the end of the weekend. So back there just under the bridge you'll start to peel it in, and you want to be getting right up on this curb. You want to have your body right over it, and you want your wheels on the white line or just on the tarmac all the way round, and try and work your way out to like the middle of the track, ready for a very hard change of direction into turn 2. You've changed direction and you'll be back to 3rd gear now, just changing back another gear just in time for Charlie's 1. This corner's a really weird corner because you're coming uphill, so you shut off, brake a bit, but before you know it you've scrubbed all your speed off. So you're back a gear and then you're straight back hard on the gas again, and you're still driving it all the way up the hill, all the way to the top of the crest where you cannot see where you're going at all. This corner is purely by just knowledge of laps. So you pick it up over the years. I'm still learning now how to get the most out of this corner. It's really tricky. It's not something you can learn on one day. So we've made it to the top of the crest now. Boom, all of a sudden you can see where you're going, you can see the apex, you can see where you want to be, but it's all coming at you fast. You've carried a lot of speed over that hill. You want to be right out to this white line. Who dares wins around here? You want to get as close as you can. If you can get as close as you can to this white line, the better. It's really scary, but you definitely benefit being a lot closer to it if you could. They could do with putting a curb here really. It'd probably take a bit less risk, but Cadwell Park is a risk. That's why we come here, that's why it's amazing. And then you're going to start coming down the bank, nice late apex, get your body across that inside curb, and then picking the gas up and driving it all the way down the straight, boy! So, down this straight now, this is another English themed track where it's a straight that isn't a straight. So you've come out of there, all the way out to the curb, and then you start working it to about middle of the track, to about here. And then you start working your way over this crest, and because you're getting onto the side of the tyre tucked in going around the left, the revs start picking up because you're on the side of the tyre because it starts spinning. Hey up, there's a hare just having a run. Go on boy, flat out. But over the weekend you start to see black lines all up this hill here where the bikes are just obviously spinning. But I tell you what, there's no feeling like it when you're in a race and you're 5 wide down this straight, because there is no room. If one of you makes a mistake, you're all having a bad day, but you're having a bloody good day at the same time while you're doing it. We've gone up the blind hill, left-hander again, but it's a straight, this is the back straight. Now you're jumping on the brakes. About the 200 metre board, between the 3, between the 2. Back from about 5th gear, if not 6th, back to about 2nd gear. There's a lot of corners around here where you'd say there isn't any runoff, there isn't any room for runoff. Cadwell Park, it's short, it's twisty. Whereas Park, you're doing about 175, 180 mile an hour down this back straight here, and then jumping on the brakes, so you have got a bit of runoff. It doesn't look like it from here, but it's a tight right-hander, it's a very good corner, very good passing opportunity. We have landed on the moon! I'm only joking, we're at Park. It's a good corner, very good corner, I like it. You come out of here, so you've come in, actually. I'm getting ahead of myself now. Back from 6th, 5th, bum, bum, bum. Usually go back a fair few gears, and then your last gear, you just wait a minute, and then you go back to 2nd gear, then you come out of here, and then you'll shift 3rd gear just before you tip into, is it Chrissy's curves? When you go, whoa, 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 spinning it up all the way around there. But I'll tell you when we get there, because we're not there yet. We're on. We're in the corner now, so you've short shifted up to 3rd gear just before you tip into it and throw the bike back down on its side. You're going to be right over the grass, literally knee, elbow, everything, hanging right over. You want the wheels of the bike about here, and you want your body to be just on the tarmac, but nearly on the grass. You want to be feeling that throttle all the way round. And once you can start to see the rest of the corner, that's when you can really start, bang, build the throttle on, nail out of here. You see the slow-mos of the superbikes out of here, you can really tell when they see the rest of the corner because you see them flat out. Then you see the back end skipping all over the place. It's a mega feeling round here. And once you're 15 laps deep into a race, your tyres going, you're just playing with it, spinning with it, and you're just trying to get the gooseneck as smooth as you can. Third gear all the way round here, and then work your way into the gooseneck. You've come round Chris's curves, you've built the throttle on all the way round, you're then nailing it flat out, and then you're jumping on the brakes about what feels right to you, whether it feels late, early, whatever, it's up to you. There's no real markers here, but not too aggressive because you're on the side of the tyre. You've been on the side of that tyre to all the way back over there, jumping on the brakes, building it in, slowly scrubbing the speed off. I use front and rear brake here just to really pull the bike back. Keep it nice and settled. It's not flat through it. It goes up, down, over. It's not an easy corner to get, so you come right on these curbs, keep really close to them, and then just as you're running off the end of this curb, then you start to change direction. Now, what a lot of people do wrong here at the gooseneck is they shut off when they change direction. Now that really unsettles the bike on this type of corner because it's so undulated. You want to keep a little bit of throttle on just as you change direction. Maybe even grab a little bit of rear brake just to settle the bike out a little bit, and it changes that direction a lot smoother and then gets you down the hill a lot easier. And that's half the battle done. Once you've got that first change done and you've got it settled and you're down into this left side, boom, start building the throttle on, start running it right out to the curb. But again, you need the knowledge of the track for this corner because you don't know how much track you've actually got because you can't see it. When you're down here on the side of the tyre, you can't see that exit, so you're going off memory from last time you were here or your last lap and know, oh yeah, I could have given it a bit more, oh no, I went a bit too much. The curb doesn't run on for too long out of here, so you've got to be careful how long you're on it for and where you do go out to it, because a lot of the time I've come out of here, you're building it up, you're flying out of here, and then you're just coming out to the curb and the curb's already finished, and then jumping on the brakes down the hill into Mansfield. So it's hard to explain how banked this hill actually is. It's like really steep hill. This corner really messes with your bike settings. You could really want the bike to be a bit better somewhere else on the track, but if you try and make the front end a bit softer, you're always on the bottom of the fork into here because it's so steep, because you're braking so hard. The front end of the bike's always on its nose. But where you want to start peeling in is literally after this diamond shaped bit of tarmac. Just start peeling the bike in after that bit of tarmac, but really be careful into here because you've got a lot of load on that front tyre. I lost the front here last year because I was just asking for a bit too much of that front end. You want to get to the middle and then try and get on the throttle pretty quick, take that weight off the front and start thinking about getting out the corner. But you're at about first or second gear here, depending what gearing you're running. So you come out of there, you usually don't change up or down the gear between here. The gear you do there will probably be the gear you do here. Scream the bike, get the most out of it, peak power, and then jumping on the brakes hard into here. This is a lovely little section, this is. I like this. This is tight, nadgery, just grab the bike and just take control of the situation. If you lean it over too much, you probably clip your engine casings left and right. I know people that have lost the front into this first right because they've clipped engine casings before, and especially around the latter part of the track because the curbs get pretty big for cars. But coming into here is lovely, really good place. And if you get a good run out of there, you can usually get a pass on into here, but you end up running someone on, or they could go across the grass and hit someone in front. It makes exciting racing, I reckon. Once you get through that first one, you want to start working out how you're going to get through here as fast as you can, then build the throttle up. But you come straight out of here, you see so many people eyeside out of here because they get so keen on the throttle. Come straight out to the white line. If you watch the races back, everyone's right on this white line, if not on the grass. You see so much dust kick up out of here, big bowls, and you can get the most out of Cadwell. That's how you go around Cadwell, and that's why I love the place so much. So we've jumped on the brakes now. You've gone up to about third gear here, and you come back to second again, jump on the brake. You always usually feel the bottom of the forks here. You jump on, it's like bang, you feel them bounce back on you, because this is the type of corner you're like, right, let's get stuck in now. We've got the best bit of the circuit, let's have it. This is where the roller coaster really starts at Cadwell Park. Chuck it into here, lay the body down. It's such a bank corner, there's so much more grip round here than you think. And then you run this curb all the way round on the white line, keep following it for way longer than you think you ever should. Then you bang, finally change direction, keep a bit of throttle on, keep the bike nice and stable. See a lot of people get too keen into this right-hander. They lose the front at the bottom, they lose the rear at the bottom. Don't rush it, just focus on getting it done, not getting it done too fast. You've got that first hurdle out of the way, then you've got to hit that big thing. That's a whole different obstacle in itself. There was some passion in that. More passion, more energy. So, the mountain. There's actually two ways of doing the mountain. You might think, what do you mean there's two ways of doing it? You just ride over it. I don't think so. This can get very messy very quick. You can either come right out to this left side, you can take it nice and smooth, roll over it, keep your wheels on the ground, try and keep the front end down and then drive hard once you know everything's settled. That's the line I take. It's a more predictable line. Or you can come a bit tighter and you can absolutely jump it to the moon. Send it as far as you can, but there's one kicker back there that kicks you. You can't see it on camera, you can't see it in person. You can only feel it when you're riding it. And there's another kick that kicks you about where the camera is now. So you've got to make sure if you're jumping it, you've got to jump past that second kick, because otherwise you hit the first one, then you hit the second one. So make sure you're either sending it or ain't sending it. Don't try and do a little jump, because you are going to end up over the bloody handle sticks. So you've come over the mountain, you've got yourself nice and settled, you're back hard on the gas. Now you see, this is actually a gain at Cadwell Park. It looks like you shouldn't be using it, it looks a bit scary, but this is actually a gain. You can use a bit of this and it'll set you up lovely to come into this first right-hander. Now I absolutely love this sector. So coming into here, my line I take is going across the curb. I like going across this inside curb. A lot of people don't like going across this inside curb, they like to just run on the other side of it. But for me, I feel like I get a little advantage. I feel like I've done a little bit less turning, ready for the left-hander. You come through that first right, then you go bang, chuck it straight down on your knee, elbow, everything, all across this inside curb. Whole body's across the curb, but you've got your wheels just on the white line, just right next to the curb. Sometimes I've felt the front end go because I've just clipped the curb a little bit. And then you quickly bang, picking the throttle up again, driving to change direction. Remember though, you're still second gear all the way from the bottom of the mountain down there, all the way up over this section. That's what's really good about it. You can just keep using it like a rev and go 50cc automatic. So again, we've gone right, we've gone left, now we're back right again, up over this right-hander. It looks sharper than it is back there, but it isn't. It really straightens up. But the faster you get through this right-hander, you think, I'm making loads of time up here. Then the bike goes like twists on you as you're going over the hill. It gets pretty out of shape, so you've got to be ready because you're jumping on the brakes, and if you get too fast over here, then you get too out of shape, then you're jumping on the brakes before you know it. You've lost the front and you're sliding down into the hairpin. You're not actually on two wheels. You're jumping hard on the brakes all the way around this left-hander. You're like braking but leaning to the right side, ready to get into the hairpin. This corner's called the hairpin. It's not actually a hairpin, but that's what it's called. So you go second gear, then you go back to first gear here now, because it's a really stop corner. It does turn really sharp. Curb's quite high on this corner, so you could always, I reckon you could clip your engine casings on it and you'd end up losing the front end. But you can see where the cars come, because the wheels come up on here and then bang, they're scraping all on the tarmac, and you really feel that on a bike. It's not very nice. So if you're a car driver, stop doing that, so otherwise I'm going to tell your mum. First gear, bang, up to second gear. You short shift up to second pretty quick out that hairpin, then you just go like brah, brah, boom, jump straight back on the brakes again. It drops downhill really quick into it. You just force the front end of the bike. You can lose the front really easy into it because it's really rippled and bumpy into here. So you see it a lot, like into this corner, into here. You lose the front really easy. Into here. Right, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. Right, yeah, I will do it. You jump on the brakes really hard, into here, into the inside, and then into the outside, and then you square it off. You go, you get a turn, and then you just drive off the end of this inside curb and you bang, 100% throttle, and you're driving around all the way down the start and finish straight to do the 1 minute 25.5 into it. You're drifting right out to the white line. You follow that white line all the way down until you get to where that Arctic is, and you start working it all the way out back to the right side of the track. That's it. That's the lap of Cadwell Park. If you enjoyed it, send it to a friend that you think would not get round this track at all. Just wouldn't even make turn one, would just be straight in the grass. If you did enjoy it, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and Cadwell Park round 8 of the Bennett British Superbike Championship will be out next week. See you in a bit.